Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Once my grandfather said, if you go to a function and you don't find some entertainment and refreshment, it is not complete. And so I think we have a very wonderful group, the Grannies, that have taken into their hands for many of these years to entertain, touch hearts. And so I would say, let us open our hands to welcome the Raging Grannies, please.
I just want to preface my remarks by saying that some of us were quite nervous when we found out that Coriolis members were going to be here tonight. So we'll do our best. The Edmonton Raging Grannies are pleased to be here tonight with Audrey. And we're going to sing 4 songs for you, and these selections have all been chosen by Audrey. Our first song is called The Grandmother's Squawk.
The raging grannies squawk, and they do much more than talk, 'cause there's so much work to be done. There's a question of peace while weapon sales increase and foreign aid keeps going down. Our leaders, of course, show no shame or remorse, supporting the slaughter called war. So we'll bitch, rage, and roar even more till we change our country's course. They say corporate profits are good for us all, but notice how craftily they chop and they slash and they scoop out the cash from our social economy. Education and health now get less of our wealth. Hungry kids are a bloody shame. So we'll bitch, rage, and roar even more till we clean up our country's name. Education for all must be our aim, and health care for every age. To change the way the poor always pay, let's up the minimum wage. Politicians must act or we'll give them all the sack. They must work on behalf of us all. So we'll bitch, rage, and roar even more until corporate greed takes a fall.
Our next song is dedicated to CSIS, the Canadian Security Intelligence Service. During the Harper years, the Raging Grannies were declared by CSIS a threat to the security of Canada. But we were joined by Amnesty International and by the Social Justice Committee of the United Church of Canada. So we were in good company. Our next song is called Pesky Raging Grands.
We're criminals exposing stuff that's going wrong, belting out our biting messages in song. We poke and we pry and then expose what the big guys hope no one knows. We're Canada's most wanted, we're pesky raging grands. We're mouthy older women, we're pesky raging grands. We've got our eyes upon you, we're checking out your plans. You think you can fool the people twice by acting bad and smiling nice. But grannies don't fool easy, we're wised up raging grands. Try and put the lid on, try to shut us up. Pepper spray won't do it, nothing makes us stop. We've been around and we don't care. We're here, we're there, we're everywhere. Don't ever think to gag us. Here comes the raging Grannies.
Every 2 years, the Raging Grannies from across North America meet at unconventions. We can't meet at conventions after all, because we are unconventional. One of the gatherings was in Salt Spring Island, and this next song comes from that meeting. It was written by Andy Gibson, a husband of one of the Salt Spring Grannies. It's called The Rib Fib.
When we were girls, we were told a fib. They told us Eve was made of Adam's rib. But as we grew up, it became very plain that God made woman out of Adam's brain. That God made woman out of Adam's brain. She took so much from the poor guy's head. She should have let the women rule the world instead. She took so much from the poor guy's head. She should have let the women rule the world instead. We each met our mate and became mom and pop, and we made sure the population didn't drop. But now we've got time and we can assess why the planet's got in such an awful mess. Why the planet's got in such an awful mess. We found the answer and we're making it known that the world's biggest problem is testosterone. We found the answer and we're making it known that the world's biggest problem is testosterone. It's stronger than liquor, more addictive than drugs. It transforms politicians into thugs. Military men didn't learn from their moms how to wreck other countries with 1,000,000 bombs. How to wreck other countries with 1,000,000 bombs. Missiles are the phallic symbols governments own, and we refuse to be the Yanks' erogenous zone. Missiles are the phallic symbols governments own, and we refuse to be the Yanks' erogenous zone. We say to young persons of the feminine ilk, you will need to be tough, but as gentle as silk. And some of you men, wherever you may be, it's been billions of years since you swung from a tree. It's been billions of years since you swung from a tree. You've got to do some work on that primitive head, or the whole human race is gonna wake up dead. You've got to do some work on that primitive head, or the whole human race is gonna wake up dead.
Our last song is called Not in My Name. We invite you to join with us in singing the chorus, which goes, no, not in my name, repeated twice more, and finally, not in my name.
We see the forces gathering like so many times before, working for peace but preparing for war, claiming to be standing for democracy, but their voices would be silenced if democracy could speak. No, not in my name. No, not in my name. No, not in my name. Not in my name. pedestals will talk of bravery, for noble and heroic breed, self-interest and greed. They're champions of chaos, of that there is no doubt. But if human rights could speak, I tell you, human rights would shout. No, not in my name. No, not in my name. No, not in my name. Not in my name. Arms dealers make their fortunes on the backs of those who die, while leaders without vision prepare for genocide. For those who claim to speak for me, I smell hypocrisy. I don't give them permission. No, they cannot speak for me. No, not